I'm just reading through the gospel today and found a beautiful song that Sri Ramakrishna sings. That's just pretty cool in the fact that, the more I practice, the more I go on, the less I'm really convinced at the substantial nature of the world as I see it. That with lots of thinking, those ideas of idealism, I can't really quite get them out of my mind, that this external world really doesn't have any valid or verifiable existence, and all of the implications of that are pretty amazing. And I think in terms of that, this poem is really encouraging and quite hopeful in what exactly that means. He says, "Dive deep, O mind, dive deep in the ocean of God's beauty. If you descend to the uttermost depth, there you will find the gem of love. Go seek, O mind. Go seek Vrindavan in your heart, where with his loving devotees Sri Krishna sports eternally. Light up, O mind, light up true wisdom's shining lamp, and let it burn with a steady flame unceasingly in your heart." All of the scriptures, when they talk about finding that spiritual truth, that spiritual reality, the scriptures always seem to be warning us that if we go outward through the senses, that there's nothing but just an infinite amount of variety there. There's nothing but about an infinite amount of diversions and distractions, and every path continues to split into more multiplicities. And that life just gets more and more complex, and the more you invest in that outer world, the more stress there is in maintaining it, because one of the subtle rules of that external world is anything that's composed must decompose, that whatever you build up will come down, and that's a big part of life. Like if you gather all of that wealth and all of the subsequent properties and vehicles and toys that allows, there's all of that maintenance and all of that responsibility and all of that continued demand on you to maintain that structure of life, that complexity of life. And so here Ramakrishna is telling this poem, which gives you a great secret, saying, seek within the heart. That's where you're going to find that gem of love, that gem that everybody is looking for, that gem that is the ideal of every form of art that we know, that gem that's at the center of every relationship, every good novel, just everywhere. And he's saying, dig deep. It exists within your own heart. Dive deep into Vrindavan. And Vrindavan is the city of Krishna, where that story of Krishna and his life is told. And so your heart is that city. Your heart is the stage for the play of this divine love. And it is the manifester of all of the external world. It all bottlenecks within you. Nothing has any meaning in the outside world until it meets your heart, until it meets you. And you determine whether it's important, whether it's beautiful, whether it's large, whether it's small, whether it's wise, whether it's meaningful. Because you hold the absolute by which all things in the external world are measured. Seek within for that wonderful gem of love that is your true nature. Seek within for all of its fulfillment, and don't be fooled into thinking that the mirror of the outside world that reflects only this beautiful gem within you is going to be able to add anything to you. So go, he says, light up, O mind, light up true wisdom's shining lamp. That is true wisdom's shining lamp, to go within, to stop this endless hunger and thirst of going into the outside world, and let it burn with a steady flame. Be steady in that practice, be steady in that aim, be steady in that contemplation, be steady in living true to the discernment, the things that you learn from your discernment, from watching closely the fruits of the outside world and the actions that you employ in it. Let that be your teacher as you go. Let it burn with a steady flame unceasingly in the heart. So be steady and be unceasing. There is no reason to stop the investigation, to stop the search, to stop the quest. you will find that gem of love in your own heart, where it cannot be taken from you, where it is not based on conditional things that can be pulled out from under you. It is that from which all things are composed, and it himself is not composed. It is one of the fundamental isnesses of being. How's that? A fundamental isness of being.